Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video there's a few topics to delve into. I am going to be giving you the latest news on what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come out and said. Then after that, going to be giving you some latest news on Jadon Sancho, and then there's lots of other things to currently talk about. So let's start with the news on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer recently gave an interview to the United We Stand fanzine, and Solskjaer did say he would rather have a hole in the squad than an arsehole. One of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's biggest tasks since he became Manchester United manager was getting rid of some bad attitudes that led to Lukaku's and Alexis Sanchez's departure from the football club last summer. Now, Solskjaer's also been speaking about how important, personality is. And he said, we are a team in a team environment. This is what, he has also mentioned. And Solskjaer, did make an admission saying, that there has been players with personal agendas at Manchester United, and now he's warned our squad that personal agendas at the football club will not be tolerated. Solskjaer also outlined the problems that we had with certain players last year. He outlined the problems that we had. He actually, said, we was physically tired, we was mentally tired. And of course, we did have injuries in that. So this is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come out and said. But he insists at this current time, we do not have any bad apples in the dressing room. And he did say, players may need a bit of ego and edge, but they do have to adapt to that. So this is, these are the things that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has recently said. So in a way, he's taken a name at Romelu Lukaku and Alexis Sanchez. So yeah, so personal agendas will not be tolerated at Manchester United. But yeah, this is the interview he gave to the United We Stand fanzine. So he's basically, talking about, the squad's rebuild and stuff like that. So this is what, Solskjaer has come out and said. As you all know, we did return to training yesterday, which is obviously, very, very good news. Obviously, a lot of clubs up and down the country recently returned to training because, the Premier League did confirm on a statement Monday that clubs voted to return to smaller training groups. And yeah, so it's been very, very good, that we've been back in training. Obviously, our players were at Carrington on Sunday. The main explanation why they were at Carrington on Sunday is to, get tested for COVID-19. Like I said, we have got a fully fit squad for when the football season does resume. I think it is resuming sometime next month. I think it could be resuming on the 12th of June, or maybe it could be the 18th or the 19th of June. It all depends on the fitness levels. Like I said, the first Premier League game back is us against Tottenham. It is live, by the way, on Friday Night Football. But there you go. The football season has been suspended since the 13th of March. I think it's been suspended for a good 9 or 10 weeks or something now. Obviously, like I mentioned, Marcus Rashford, he's, been at Carrington in the last couple of weeks, obviously to get treatment and to step up his fitness regime. But Marcus Rashford is now back because Rashford was out with a back injury. He did sustain this back injury in January in our 1-0 win against Wolves in the FA Cup third round replay. So yeah, Rashford is fully fit now, which is very, very good news because Rashford has been a big miss for us this season because analysing it, Rashford is one of our best players and overall, he was one of our best players earlier on in the season before he sustained his back injury. Also, good news as well, Paul Pogba is now back. He stepped up his fitness regime because Paul Pogba was out with an ankle injury. Paul Pogba's appearances have been limited at the football club this season. He's only played 8 times for Manchester United. The last game he did play was our 4-1 win against Newcastle on Boxing Day. And the last time he started from the start was back in September. But actually, before the football season that got suspended, Paul Pogba was close to full fitness. because he had one-on-one sessions with Michael Carrick. So this is very, very good. You know, we have now got a fully fit squad. And, you know, we have had a lot of injuries this season. So reflecting on that, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has had to make a lot of rotation in the squad and that. So, yeah, so like I said, you know, Solskjaer's come out and given his verdict on, you know, our squad at the moment. So there you go. And you saw my video that I did yesterday night. There is issues that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does need to resolve for this season. There's a good 4 or 5 issues that Solskjaer, you know, doesn't need to resolve. And like I said to you, know, I think these things that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does need to work on. I think like he needs to work on his best formation, because if you've noticed this season, Solskjaer's been changing formation persistently. Obviously, you know, this season he's been going with like the 4-2-3-1. He's been going with the 3-5-2. Obviously, a few times he's gone with the 4-3-3. From my own perception, I think we look more expansive with, you know, the 3-5-2 formation. You know, I really, really do. Obviously, as well, you can say Solskjaer needs to work out his best 11. You know, what 11 is he going to put out against Tottenham? So that's something else, you know, he does need to, you know, resolve his best 11. We also need to know what's happening with Paul Pogba, like I mentioned on my video yesterday night, because there's a lot of uncertainty over Paul Pogba's future at the football club. Me personally speaking, I think Paul Pogba will stay at Manchester United for next season, but I'm not sure about the foreseeable future. Don't forget, Paul Pogba did reveal his plans ahead of his return, and he's aiming to be the best player in the world and that. And, you know, I'm very, very excited about the prospect of him playing alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield. You know, because that is the best midfield in the Premier League, is Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes. But we just need to resolve Paul Pogba's future, you know, as soon as possible, or, you know, before the season resumes, or before the end of the season when it resumes, you know, because Paul Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga since he rejoined the football club from Juventus back in 2016. You know, obviously before the football season got suspended, you know, you had reports coming out saying that Paul Pogba was interested in staying at Man United and he was interested in extending his contract at the football club. You know, Paul Pogba at the moment has got a year left in his contract, but the club do have an option to extend it by a further year. And then Solskjaer said in his press conference in Austria, this was prior to the last game, he said, you know, that Paul Pogba, you know, will remain at Manchester United next season. The Busby Babe report came out the other week and said that Paul Pogba wants to stay at Manchester United, but he told our teammates earlier on this season that he still wants to depart the football club. Now, obviously, you know, Juventus are still interested in getting him back. You know, there's been swap deals on the agenda. Of course, Juventus are willing to offer the likes of Rabiot. You know, Ramsey's also been mentioned, Federico Bernardeschi, Milan Panjanic, Matty Silic was mentioned a while ago, Douglas Costa. So swap deals have been on the agenda. You know, Juventus want to include at least one of their players, so they don't have to pay £100 million for Paul Pogba, because in reality, you know, Juventus can't afford to pay £100 million for Pogba. His wages are also a stumbling block as well. His wages are also a stumbling block because Juventus the other week announced that they became the first Italian club to have their own cap salary, and it said Juventus, you know, Juventus are only willing to offer contracts of up to only willing to offer contracts worth up to £151,000 a week and stuff like that. So there you go. But reports were coming out from Eli Quipe, which is, I think, a French is it newspaper, something like that, and they mentioned that, you know, Paul Pogba is close to re-signing for Juventus. You know, Real Madrid, it confirmed quite a few weeks ago from Marseille, you know, that they're no longer interested in Pogba. Obviously, you know, due to his wages, and Real Madrid have got other midfield targets on their agenda. But obviously, there's still some reports saying that Zinedine Zidane is keen on getting Paul Pogba in to Real Madrid. Obviously, you know, last summer, Paul Pogba was relentlessly linked to a move to Real Madrid, but the main explanation why his move to Real Madrid didn't materialise last summer was reflecting on the substantial amount we put on him, because we said last summer we wanted £180 million for Pogba, and Real Madrid were not willing to meet that valuation. But, you know, Paul Pogba was talking a hell of a lot about Real Madrid last year, about his, you know, dreams of playing under Zinedine Zidane. Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, also, he's been a big problem as well, because we've been very, very critical of him. Reflect on some of the comments he has come out with since the turn of the year. He's been talking with Real Madrid a few times. He's also been talking with Pogba's former club Juventus. I think Ed Woodward's also had some negotiations with Mini Raiola, but I've stuck to what I said. If Paul Pogba does leave, I think he'll make a return to Juventus, because he did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus, but the vast majority of his performances at Man United since he rejoined have been totally comparison to his ones in Turin. They really, really have. Like I said, in the last couple of weeks at least, the likes of PSG have been interested in Pogba. For PSG to fund the move for Pogba, they'd either have to offload Mbappe and Neymar, who are the 2 most expensive players in the world, disregarding any swap deal, that is. Inter Milan have been in for Pogba in recent weeks. Don't forget, Inter Milan have already recruited 3 players from us. They've got Ashley Young, Lukaku, and Alexis Sanchez off us. Obviously, Inter Milan have got Mario Icardi out on loan at PSG. They've got Ivan Perisic out on loan at Bayern Munich. And I think Inter Milan looking to get rid of them on permanent transfers. Barcelona have also been in for Paul Pogba before. Like I said to you, Paul Pogba endured a very, very difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era. He also, was at Manchester United when he was younger. But, you can say we made a mistake getting rid of him when he was younger. Under Ferguson, that was. But the main explanation why we had to get rid of him was due to limited appearances. This is why. It confirmed a couple of weeks ago that Ed Woodward had lowered Paul Pogba's asking price from 150 to 100 million pounds. There was reports saying that, we could only get 60 or 70 million pounds for Paul Pogba this summer. But there has been a few players on our agenda who could replace him if he does decide to leave the football club. And but I think, he will end up staying at Manchester United. I really, really do. Don't forget as well, recently Paul Pogba had purchased an apartment in Miami, and I think it includes a private beach. Paul Pogba has also received a lot of criticism since he became Manchester United player, especially this season. His biggest critics have been Roy Keane and Graham Souness, and especially Graham Souness. He's been criticising Paul Pogba, persistently. Don't forget, around a couple of months ago, a month ago, so was it, Paul Pogba had responded to the criticism that he had received from Graham Souness and that. But these some people that have actually advised Paul Pogba to leave, obviously, the amount of criticism that he has received and stuff like that. But Paul Pogba, has been mainly inconsistent for Man United, but deep down, he's still a world-class midfielder. He really, really is. So, yeah, we need to know what's happening with Paul Pogba, we really, really do. But we paid 89 million for him. So, at the moment, he is our most expensive signing, is Paul Pogba. And I said if we sell him, it's very imperative that we get more than what we paid for him. I think he's worth at least £100 million anyway. So, there you go. I think we also need to know what's happening with Diego Dalot. Now, Diego Dalot anyway is facing a dilemma. He's got a difficult choice to make, because Diego Dalot's finding game time very, very difficult at Manchester United, and this could be really, really infuriating him. Obviously, Diego Dalot is our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka, and Wan-Bissaka is our first choice right back. Diego Dalot has not played this season, obviously, due to the injuries he's had. He's had a couple of injuries. I think he's only made one start in the Premier League. Diego Dalot's been at the club now a good year and a half or so, maybe just a bit longer. We recommended him in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window, Diego Dalot. Got him in the summer of 2018, paid around £19 million in from Porto. Diego Dalot's got a contract of us until 2023. Now, recent reports have said that Barcelona and PSG have expressed their interest in Dalot, but Solsjaker has confirmed that he wants to keep Diego Dalot at Manchester United. Whether we do or not, I do not know whether we keep him or not. Like I said, if we was to sell him, we'd obviously want to generate more than the £19 million that we paid for him. We'd probably demand in the £30 million range for him. Diego Dalot is only very, very young. Now, we also need to know what's happening with Odi Ighalo, because we're also facing a dilemma with Odi Ighalo. Now, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did make the admission saying, that he wants Odi Ighalo's transfer to become permanent at Manchester United. Shanghai Shenhua confirmed the other week that they do want £20 million to let Odin Igalo go on a permanent transfer. Maybe Man United have got reservations about paying £20 million to get him on a permanent transfer. Now, obviously, we paid around £4 million to get Odin Igalo on loan. His wages at Shanghai Shenhua are like £300,000 a week at the moment. The £300,000 a week, yeah. And I think we're paying like a third of his wages, or something like that. Anyway, we're paying him like 100 odd grand a week. Or it might be 100 grand a week we are paying him. Odi Nagalo did say, that he wants his loan deal at the football club extended. I'm not sure if we've entered any negotiations yet over extending his loan, but don't forget Odi Nagalo's loan does expire at the end of this month, so we'll probably be looking to extend Odi Nagalo's loan until the end of next month or July. But Shanghai Shenhua did confirm that they expect Odi Nagalo to return for the start of the new Chinese Super League season. I think the Chinese Super League season does start in July. But like I said, Odi Nagalo's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Man United career. 4 goals in 3 starts for the football club. And I think he has been a very, very good cover-up to Marcus Rashford. So we need to know what's happening with Odi Nagalo. Maybe, when the season does resume as well, maybe the youngsters will get more opportunities, and I credited Solskjaer for that because I think, he has promoted the youth very, very well. I think we've had the youngest squad in the Premier League this season, but there's some young players that haven't really been given their opportunities in that, Chong, his appearances have been limited at the football club. Angel Gomez's appearances have been limited at the football club. Angel Gomez has only made 6 first-team appearances this season. I can see Angel Gomez, leaving next month when his current contract does expire, so he'll be going on a free because there's been no signs of Angel Gomez signing a new contract at Man United, and we've put forward a few contract offers for the player. James Garner, his appearances have been limited as well. He's only made 7 first-team appearances for Man United. I'll give you the news on James Garner yesterday. There's 3 championship clubs that are interested in him, and that's Swansea, Cardiff, and Sheffield Wednesday. We're gonna allow James Garner to go out on loan next season, as you all know. There's been talks as well that we're going to loan Dylan Levitt out. Talks that we're going to loan Ethan Laird out. So there you go. But the likes of Mason Greenwood, he's been given his chances this season. I expect him to get more chances when the season resumes and next season as well. Because a lot of his appearances have come from the substitute bench of Mason Greenwood. Williams, he's also been given his opportunities this season, which is very, very good in that. Williams is not yet our first choice left back. Luke Shaw's our first choice left back at the moment because he's more experienced. But I think maybe in the next year or two, Williams will become our first choice left back when he does gain a bit more experience in that. So there you go. So yeah, these issues that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does need to resolve. Obviously, when the season does resume, we've got things to focus on. And that's obviously, getting top 4 in the Premier League because we are still in that top 4 race. We are, 3 points behind Chelsea. Don't forget, we're into the last 8 of the Europa League. We're into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. And, that's a chance of us getting some silverware on the board under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and that. So that is the latest news on all of that. And, like he updated you a while back. And this was before the football season got suspended. Solskjaer was talking about what has changed at Manchester United since he, replaced Jose Mourinho back in December 2018. I think, quite a few things have improved under Solskjaer and, a few things have changed. You can say his change of personnel and his change of tactics. I think there's definitely players that have improved under the Solskjaer era than what I saw under Mourinho. The likes of Martial's done well. Shaw's improved, even though they've had a few injuries this season. Rashford's done very, very well. Fred's been given his opportunities, but all them players endured a very, very difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era. So there's a change there. Our record against the Big Six sides this season has also been very, very good because we've registered 17 points against the Big Six sides this season. But yeah, and I think we've also improved in the transfer market under Solskjaer. We've improved in the transfer market. What I mean is, Solskjaer's recommended the players that I wanted to recommend in. We've also been a bit more sensible with our recruitment because we have been criticised in recent years for like overpaying for players. We've been criticised for how poor our recruitment policy's been and stuff like that. But we have improved in the market under Solskjaer. Solskjaer's recommended 5 good players into the club so far and spent £220 million in 3 transfer windows because Solskjaer's enjoyed 3 transfer windows at the club. Well, didn't get anyone in his first transfer window, but in the 2 previous windows, brought 5 players in. Obviously, the summer transfer window this summer will be Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager and his 2nd summer transfer window at the football club. And like I said to Solskjaer does deserve at least a couple of more windows at Manchester United. And he does deserve at least another season at the football club because he's still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team. Solskjaer did admit a couple of weeks ago, that we will enjoy a different transfer window, because a lot of clubs are going to enjoy an unprecedented summer transfer window. But like I mentioned recently, I think we can enjoy the perfect transfer window. We really, really can. But finances are uncertain. But the likes of Arsenal, they've got players taking wage cuts, so who they're going to get in. Chelsea don't know what they're doing. David Ornstein, who was a credible journalist, said Liverpool the other week may not sign any players. City, banned from the Champions League for the next 2 seasons for breaking financial fair play rules. As you all know, they have appealed against this decision. Daniel Levy at Tottenham doesn't like spending money, but I think, we can benefit from this, in the summer. And Solskjaer's already said he wants to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer transfer market. And, he believes we need around 3 or 4 signings to become title contenders next season. And has already identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up. He wants to recommend a centre forward in, a right winger, a midfielder, and he also wants to recommend a centre half in. And he still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young British talents to Manchester United like he did do last summer. So there you go. But there's been a hell of a lot of players on our agenda. Solskjaer knows he's got the backing of Ed Woodward. Because Ed Woodward said on numerous occasions this season he's willing to back Solskjaer. Also, too, I think the Glazers are also willing to back him. And Ed Woodward has assured this season quite a few times that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe, even though we have been inconsistent for the vast majority of this season. So, yeah, he's still assured that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe at the football club. So maybe Ed Woodward does believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the foreseeable future for Manchester United. Like I said, throughout the course of this season, there hasn't only been problems with the management, there's also been problems with Ed Woodward because we've been very, very critical of Ed Woodward. We've also had a lot of doubts about the club's ownership, the Glazers. Like I said to you, we've made quite a lot of mistakes in the last 6 or 7 years, and it's one of the main explanations why we have been so inconsistent. Maybe there's players that we've got rid of who we shouldn't have got rid of. Maybe we made a mistake giving Solskjaer the job permanently. We did give him the job too soon, but we're giving the job permanently, reflecting on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. Obviously, Ferguson made a mistake by recommending David Moyes into the football club. Maybe there's players that we've given contracts to we shouldn't have given contracts to and stuff like that. Like I said, Solskjaer approach to the games against lower opposition haven't been great for the vast majority of this season. Like he hasn't really had a plan A or he hasn't really had a bad plan B. He's been a bit clueless, so he needs to improve on that, to be quite honest with you. But we've made a lot of mistakes. But, to be fair, a lot of players' contracts have been extended since Solskjaer came in. We've got around 89 players' contracts that are due to expire next year. So this is something else, we do need to resolve and stuff like that. But there you go. And I think, Solskjaer's got big decisions to make in the summer. Like who's he going to recommend in? What players is he going to get rid of? Like I've said to you already, I know what players... I've got an idea what players, Solskjaer's going to get rid of because he's been talking about the players that are going to be leaving the club. I think Jones is going to go. Lingard should go. Pereira should go. Like I said, Delors, debatable at the moment. We don't know with Delors. Angel Gomez, I think he'll go. Garner's going out on loan, like I mentioned. Small and Rojo will go on permanent transfers, I do believe. Or if not permanent transfers, will be loaned back out again. Sanchez, we don't want him back at the football club, so we'll probably loan Alexis Sanchez back out and that. So there you go. So Solskjaer's got big decisions to make in the summer transfer window when it does open. Now let's give you the latest news on Jadon Sancho. So the latest news is on Jadon Sancho is that it's very, very likely that Sancho will leave Borussia Dortmund this summer. I've just read this in the Daily Mail. Now, there has been a lot of positivity coming out regarding Jadon Sancho recently because David Ornstein came out yesterday and he said there's a very, very high chance that Sancho will join Manchester United in the summer. David Ornstein's also been talking a lot about Timo Werner recently from RP Leipzig. We're hoping to get Jadon Sancho in a cut price deal because, you know, I think we're hoping to get Sancho for around 60 or 70 million pounds, but I just don't think either of them figures are going to be enough to convince Dortmund to offload him. Dortmund have remained ruthless over their valuation. They have said several times, that they do want at least 100 million pounds for Sancho. Obviously, David Ornstein said last week that Sancho will not be sold for less than 100 million pounds by Borussia Dortmund and that. But we've already confirmed we are not willing to smash our transfer record for Jadon Sancho. Like I said to you, we are willing to offer Jadon Sancho the number 7. Like I said, we have got number 7 vacant at the moment, and we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations, but there again, our recent number 7s haven't been so good. Let's be honest about that. They haven't been so good, our recent number 7s. But I think Sancho would operate very, very well in the number 7. We've been in for Jadon Sancho for quite a few years now. We first expressed our interest in Sancho back in 2017. This was before he went to Borussia Dortmund and that. Obviously, the Borussia Dortmund managing director came out recently and he says that players' transfer valuations will fall due to the coronavirus crisis. So, we could benefit from that. But Borussia Dortmund did say, they will not stand in Jadon Sancho's way if he does want to leave. We're not the only club that have been in for Sancho. Don't forget Chelsea is still tracking him. Liverpool have been in for him. Also to Real Madrid were in for him, and Sancho is aware of the speculation. But I think Man United is Sancho's preferred option because he did reveal if he was to leave Borussia Dortmund, his preference would be a move to Manchester United. Don't forget, we have been working on Jadon Sancho's contract for quite some time. We've also been in negotiations with his agent for quite some time, like Fabrizio Romano broke out a while back. So there you go. But I've outlined a couple of the reasons why I take Jadon Sancho at Man United is because he's well Premier League proven. He's got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. This is why I take him at the football club. He would dramatically improve us. Borussia Dortmund, paid only £8 million for Sancho from Man City. Sancho enjoyed a couple of years at Man City, but the main explanation why he left Manchester City is because he did not get any first-team opportunities. Before he was at City, he was at Watford. He began his footballing career with Watford, and he was at Watford for several years, was Jadon Sancho. And like I said, if Sancho was to go back to London, I definitely think he would make a move to Chelsea. If Sancho is sold in the summer transfer window, City do benefit from it because I do believe they do get around 15% of the transfer fee. Emre Can's also give his verdict on this, and he believes that Sancho should turn down a move to Manchester United. But like I've said to you, Dortmund are known as a selling football club. They have sold quite a few of their players in recent years: Pulisic, Aubameyang, Ousmane Dembele, Mkhitaryan, Gundogan, Kagawa, Matt Hummels. They're all the players, Dortmund have sold in recent years. But there again, they've recruited quite a few players in because they got Haaland in January from Red Bull Salzburg. They got Thorgan Hazard in, they got Emre Can and that. So they have recruited quite a few players in recent years. Julian Brandt, I think, was one as well. Sancho still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. So that's the latest news on Sancho. He's likely to leave Dortmund in the summer, and we still remain the favourites to sign him. We do. Obviously, yesterday as well, I give you the news on obviously Wissam Ben Yedder from Monaco. because there was reports coming out saying that Monaco may be forced to sell Wissam Ben Yedder because Monaco are struggling financially. Obviously, no European places because, they finished ninth in Liga 1. And Wissam Ben Yedder is a cheap solution. He's available for around £40 million, is Wissam Ben Yedder. A few other teams have been in for him as well. It said he was able for £40 million last month when the news was coming out regarding Wissam Ben Yedder. He's a striker. This has been his first season with Monaco. Monaco purchased him from Sevilla last summer for £35 million. They triggered his release clause, and he has got a contract with Monaco until 2024 as Wissam Ben Yedder. So would you take Wissam Ben Yedder at Man United? He would be the vertical point, and he would be an option of a different type of forward. He'd be different to the likes of Rashford and Anthony Martial and that. He is the age of 29. I think he turns 30 in August and that. I think Monaco may have to get rid of 30 of their players from their bloated squad and that. Like I said, Monaco have lost quite a few of their imperative players in recent years. They lost, a lot of their good players. Mbappe to PSG. He left Monaco. Lamar went to Atletico Madrid. Bakayuku, didn't he go? Benjamin Mendy, Fabinho. So yeah, lost quite a few with Monaco. Obviously, the ongoing situation with Grealish. Villa said they want £80 million, regardless of whether they get relegated or not. I think he recently purchased a guard dog for £25,000, by the way. The news on Jude Bellingham as well from Birmingham. We're close to getting him, apparently, according to 90minute.com, what they said quite a few days ago. We also want to get his brother as part of the deal as well. So there you go. But yeah, that's really everything to update you with today, guys. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.